this evening, where there seems to be a certain level of uncertainty as Fubara romances ADC ahead of 2027 general election. And from there, we'll go to the central level where Tinubu is in Turkey and pushes defense and economic ties with Turkey as closure of Onitsha main market by Soludo has sparked some kind of reaction from the public. Well, let's bring in our guests. We are joined in this virtually by Barrister Asim Adams. He's joining us from Port Harcourt, by the way, where the whole thing is happening, politically. Barrister Adams is a constitutional lawyer as well as a political affairs analyst. Good evening to you, Barrister Adams, and thanks for joining us on Political Lens.
Good evening, Mr. Okoro, and good evening, Nigerians.
Good evening, Barrister Adams. Thanks for having you. I appreciate your time and your presence on my show. Now, let's get into it. Governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara, has debunked speculations that is supporting the candidates of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, for the forthcoming by-election scheduled to hold on February 21, 2026. That's about less than a month away from now. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has slated the by-election to fill 2 vacant seats in Rivers State House of Assembly. In preparation for the said election, the All Progressives Congress, APC, recently conducted its primary, resulting in the emergence of Napoleon Okaliben and Bulabari Henrietta Lolo for elections into Ahoda East Constituency 2 and Kana State Constituency 2, respectively. Since both candidates are known allies of the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, many analysts have been interpreting the situation as a minus for Fubara, with some alleging that he, Fubara, was planning to support the candidates of the ADC instead of the APC during the election. However, Fubara has dismissed the allegation, describing it as blatant lies from the pit of hell. He said those peddling such falsehood were doing so with the mischievous intention of creating divisions within the APC in Rivers State. The APC in Rivers State is one family. What happened was that in the build-up to the primaries, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, intervened and asked everyone to support the candidates of the former governor and minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, for peace to reign. Now, this is coming from Governor Sim Fubara himself. I just quoted him. So if these candidates are members of the APC, still quoting him, and we are all members of the same party, how can I be supporting the candidates of another political party? This is coming from Sim Fubara. These are blatant lies from the pit of hell. Well, the governor said it was unfortunate that political detractors were always busy fanning the embers of division, even when there was none. He assured members of the APC in the state that he will continue to support the party and ensure its victory at the polls. Well, in the same vein, Fubara urged citizens of the state to remain focused on issues of development and not be swayed by baseless claims. Barrister Adams, reverse of trouble, is at it again. Wike'S men and loyalists have claimed the tickets for the upcoming by-elections in Ahoda and Kana. What does that say about the power play in Rivers State? Lead us through all that you understand in the power game that is going on in Rivers State.
Thank you, Mr. Okoro. You see, the point is the power play in Rivers State. In fact, is there any power play in Rivers State? There is no power play in Rivers State, Mr. Okoro and Nigerians. It is just the problem of the Philistine carpetbaggers, the opportunists, mostly on the governor's side, who are trying to castrate and choreograph, skirmishes where these do not even exist. You see, it is Ernest Benn, a German philosopher, that once said, when he defined what is politics, he said politics is the art of looking for trouble, whether one exists or not. That is, it's a philosopher and a writer. He said, he said, define politics. I said, politics is the art of looking for trouble, whether it exists or not. That is what is happening in Rivers State. It's like Ernest Benn saw Rivers State years back before he made that statement. And let me break it down for the understanding of the people. Governor Sim Fubara, that we know, or that we knew before the election was a peace-loving man. If you go through the videos and visuals and audio tapes that this young man gave before the elections and even after the elections that made him governor of Rivers State, you will know that he's a peace-loving man, a young man that has the fear of God in him, a young man that has the respect for elders and his political leaders. But when he now became governor, he was still very loyal and very humble, moving around until some infiltrators, those who do not want peace in Rivers State, now started hobnobbing with him. One of them was a member of the House of Assembly before, who later was appointed, as a kitchen cabinet member of, the government of the day. And on a daily basis, you find out that they look for trouble wherever it is, even where there is no trouble anywhere. Now, let me tell you why I said this man is a peace-loving man. You know that when in the heat before the state of emergency was declared, there was this news all over the place that this man and the political godfather, they are apart. Before you knew, they went to sign an agreement. See, Fubara went to Abuja and signed the agreement. He came back. The moment he came back, the hawks in his government and the Orina crisis, we call them Orina crisis in Rivers State. That group that wants crisis, that they thrive where crisis is. That is the only way they can make money. That is the only way they can feed. They started, pricking him. Why will you go and sign this kind of agreement? What kind of agreement is this? This agreement is, before you knew what was happening, the young man repudiated that agreement that was signed. Before you knew what was going on, he started confronting his godfather. This is a man who came out once and said, after God, it is this man. Before you knew, he started confronting the godfather. Then at the end of the day, a state of emergency was declared. Before you knew what was going on, he now went back, he now realized himself and went back to the same Fubara that we know before. And now was pleading for peace and said, look, the man there is my godfather. He's a father figure to me. I want everybody to stop. Please don't say anything that will make the state boil politically. He even said that his group, there's a group they call Simplified, that it should be disbanded. And warned the supporters that let it be that it is only, those that want to support him that, will listen to him. And he did this on the night that the elder statesman, E.K. Clark, was to be buried. That's the funeral oration. He made a statement and said that even as it is, because of how these things are going, that his heart has even left the government house because of this crisis. This man does not want problem. And you had that little whatever. Before you know, he went back, and these people were not telling him, why will you go and make such statement? Before you knew what was going on, the political whatever heightened again in Rivers State, state of emergency was now declared. As a peace-loving man, he went back again after realizing himself for the sake of the state. Before we knew, he didn't tell his supporters again. He went to Abuja to sign an agreement because he wants peace. But those who are following him do not want peace. This is the problem we're having. It is the same thing that is happening now because of time. It is the same thing that is happening now. Now, the news was that the candidates that won the first primaries or whatever were his supporters or were those he endorsed. That was the news that was making the round. And those his supporters were jubilating and saying that he has captured the APC, whatever, in Rivers State. and nothing more. He's the one that, worked for those candidates. But in the 2 hours of the day, the real information and news came out that people who won that particular, primaries were those who were loyal to Nyesom Wike. And when the governor has just confirmed just now that he never, supported any candidate against that of the minister of FCT. Because part of the peace, whatever they agree, was that he should support candidates brought forward by the FCT minister. So you now ask yourself the question, where did that particular list came from?
Okay.
So when this thing happened, when that news did not fly, they are now saying he wants to join ADC.
Okay.
But the man has come out open to say this is not true.
Well, Barrister Adams, a lot of people will say that he wouldn't. I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir? Barrister Adams, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for this.
I can hear you.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Yes, thank you very much for this very extensive insight. Now, a lot of people will say that, look, the governor has no alternative than to come out and say what he had said. And quoting the president himself, he said, look, Mr. President said this is what we should do. Now, you have said quite a lot in the past minutes that you have intervened. And, well, let's see if we can do some surgery and pick out what is relevant or what we can interrogate further based on what you have said. Anyone listening to you will work out or come out with the impression that, look, because when you say that Fubara is a man of peace, but he's been going back and forth, someone will come up with the impression that, look, he is not his own man and has been teleguided and manipulated by his supporters and enemies of the FCT minister. Is that what you are presenting? Is that the picture you are painting of him?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's not his own man.
Those who are teleguided, he's not his own man. They are the people who are supporting him, they are teleguiding him. Those who are washing him on are those people who are his enemies and enemies to the FCT minister.
Okay.
You know why I'm saying this? The FCT minister and this governor, they were sleeping according to the information we got, was that they were living in the same, apartment in the FCT's compound, FCT minister's compound. The FCT minister was the person who campaigned for him. It was a father and son relationship until these Philistine carpetbaggers came in. Those who want problem every time. We know them in River State.
Okay.
Those who want problem, they created problem for Peter Dili and Amechi. When that one elapsed, they now created problem.
When you say
Amechi and Nyesom Wike.
Okay, now Barrister Adams, when you said they created for Odele and Amechi and now Nyesom Wike and Sim Fubara, are you talking about the same set of people?
Yes. Hello.
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you, Barrister. Go ahead. I can hear you.
The same set of people that have been behind the crisis from 1999.
Barrister Adams,
are those of them. Some have died.
Okay, we are on.
But there are those who are alive.
Okay, we are on national TV. If you cannot name those people, by the way, can you give us some description that will lead us to know, okay, it could be this person or this person? If you are talking about a particular set of people who, by the way, from what you have said, looks like they are trying to hold River State to hostage. Are you able, if you can't name them, can you give us some kind of description, characterization, so that we could understand maybe it is this person or this other person?
If I name them or I describe them, people know them.
Okay.
And like you said, we're on national television. I will not call or describe them, but people who are genuinely interested in River State know them.
Okay.
That is why you see the respected clergyman.
These people you are talking about. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. Respected clergyman.
The respected clergyman, David Ibiome, came out the other day and said the River State problem is a perennial and peculiar one, more spiritual. There are those who have held the state by jugular. They don't want peace. That is why you see the successor and predecessor must quarrel. That has been what has been on since 1999.
Okay, all right.
Go and check your records.
But Barrister Adams,
these people know themselves.
These people know themselves. Yes. Rotimi Amechi said that much. Rotimi Amechi said that, look, Rivers has become the capital of betrayal, talking about how he betrayed Odele, how Wike betrayed him, and how Sim Fubara is now betraying Nyesom Wike. Now, these people that you are talking about, have they at one point served in government? Are they traditional rulers? Have they? What kind of players are there in Rivers State?
The players, some of them are politicians. Many of them are politicians.
That have served in government at one point or the other? Have they served in government? They have served in
government, both at the national and state level, they've served.
Okay.
They have served. Some of them, one of them was at the helm of affairs also in this Rivers State.
Okay.
A lot of them are politicians who lost their positions. Some were senators and House of Reps members.
Okay.
Some of them were there. They lost, and see, let me tell you, they were once. They have been in the same family. These people have been in the same family right from 1999. But when it does not favor them, they create problem, form a group, join that group, plunder the state. When it's not favoring them again, they create problem, form another amorphous group, plunder the state. That is how it has been right from 1999.
Okay.
And these people, they are just political jobbers. They have no job doing. Now, let me give for an example, a good example. Are you aware that after the state of emergency was lifted by the president, even though I didn't support the state of emergency, after it was lifted, you find out that for that period, these people were underground. Nobody said anything at all. They went about other businesses that they were doing. But immediately, the issue of presentation of budget, not presentation of a budget between assembly and whatever, the people now came out again. And they now went to the House of the Governor and started telling him, don't present that budget, don't do this one, don't do that one, as the case may be. Before you knew what was going on again, it became a heated argument between the executive governor
okay, we seem to be having a tech glitch there, network glitch. We've lost connection with Barrister Adams. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, let's see how we can get a connection back to Barrister Adams. When we return, we'll continue with the discussion. Please do stay with us.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
And if you are just joining us, this is Political Lens, and we've been able to re-establish connection with Barrister Adams. Barrister, good to have you back. I'd like for you to land on your thoughts so that we can proceed.
What I said is that the governor today has clearly spoken about those people again. He described, there's a word he used in describing those people who are interested in crisis and churning out fake news and giving rumors of discord. So those people are known to all of us.
Okay.
And the governor knows them. That is why he keeps saying, he keeps referring to them. Those people who are, churning out these rumors and fake news are those who do not want, the good of Rivers State and do not want his good. And they want perpetual problem in the state.
Okay.
So this is the situation.
Okay. It's interesting to understand how the governor, gets caught in the web of, he keeps running back to these people and they keep misadvising him and he keeps running into trouble. Now, Barrister, let's proceed. Let's come back to the main issue here. Now, Fubara said that Mr. President said, look, support the FCT ministers' candidates for the by-election. Does it appear that the president is kind of giving some form of tokenism, to appease Wike's ego and allow him to have his way in small things this time and probably reserve the big booty for Fubara in 2027. Does it look like that? I mean, why would the president intervene in a matter as little as, having to elect people to fill vacant seats at the assembly? Why would the president, be descend to say, okay, support this person's candidate? Why? Does it look like he's just mere tokenism to appease his ego?
See, the president has been straight. President Tinubu has never, by conduct or words, recanted the interview he granted on national television, the words he used, wherein he said, when Ruben Abati of a sister station and his other journalists were with him in that presidential interview, they asked him about Yeso Wike. You heard what the president said about Yeso Wike. That is a performing governor. That this man is the anchor of his administration. And that this man is his political confidant. That this man is very close to him. It was just a thin line. The president would have said,
we seem to be having another technical glitch, and we've lost connection again with Barrister Asim Adams, and I hope
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, Barrister. Go ahead.
I said the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has never been unwavering whenever it comes to whether he gives support to Yeso Wike or not. He has been there. He's been constant as the Northern Star. He has never wavered. He has never, by word or conduct, denigrated or
Okay, all right.
He stood by his words.
He stood by his words, for Wike. Now, Barrister, if we have the situation where the president has never wavered in his support to the FCT minister, Yeso Wike, in real terms, don't you think that Fubara should make some kind of a plan B, just in case the president settles for the minister, regarding the choice of who should be his point man in Rivers? If he could ask them to support Wike's candidates at this time, do you think that anything will make a difference in 2027? Probably the president might also say, well, minister, you have a say in who becomes the next governor of Rivers State. At that point, Fubara will be lost. So don't you think that in political terms, as a real politician, he should make a plan B, like, well, looking towards the ADC or any other party? Recall that he did that during the local government elections that were cancelled. When PDP became much of a problem, he went to APP, and his candidates took all the seats in the local government until the election was cancelled. Now, don't you think that based on the rumor mills, he's going to ADC and all of that, shouldn't he make plan B as a politician that he wants to be?
Every human being should have a plan B. Not only a politician, every human being must have plan B. Even President Tinubu has plan B. Yeso Wike has plan B. Sin Fubara has a plan B, or may have a plan B. But the problem we are talking about, the plan B that you have, will it save you or not save you? Is it going to be a case of between the devil and the deep blue sea? Which one do you choose? Now, in this scenario, the plan A and the plan B of seeing Fubara, for me, is to align with Nyesom Wike, because he understands Nyesom Wike more than any other person.
Now, Barrister Adams, I hate to butt in at this time, but I have to because we are running out of time. If he aligns with Nyesom Wike's vision, and Wike says, look, you won't be governor again, and he wants to be governor, how will that alignment help him?
But the point is, you people are forcing it on him that he must do a second term.
No, he wants to. Not people
has told you. Him. No, he told you people that his mind has left that government house before.
Okay, so who forced him back to the government house? That is what he said. Did you force him? Who forced him back to the government house? Did you force?
No. He went back there to complete his tenure. They told him, go and complete your tenure. And the way people are looking at it, say he must go for second term. Can you tell me where Fubara has spoken to you or anybody at all to say, I want to do another 4 years in Rivers State as governor? Has he ever spoken directly to anybody on that?
Barrister Adam, the same people Barrister Adam, the same people you say that are teleguiding him are telling him, in his face, nobody can decide who becomes next governor of Rivers State. We still want
that
you
is,
in office.
Do you know what
so
is
going to impress you that he will not listen to those people?
Let me tell you, Mr. Okoro, do you know that those people were against him when he wanted to be governor? I am going to tell you that by the time he's getting close to the primaries of all the political parties, those who are supporting him, some of the main people who are there, they have ambition. They may even challenge him if he wants to contest in any political party. They may even challenge him and saying that, look, we supported you that time, not because we love you, but it is my turn now. If he even goes to the ADC, as the case may be, is he going to be a liability or an asset? In my own case, or in my own whatever, if he goes to ADC, there is no place for him. Amechi is already there. Amechi has made his mind very clear on his style of politics and principles he wants to adhere to, on who becomes governor of Rivers State. And seeing Fubara is not one of them. Are you aware that Rotimi Amechi has been angling for about 2 times now to install a governor in Rivers State? He has not been able. So it will be something that he would like to install, a governor in Rivers State. He supported Dakuku Peter side. Dakuku Peter side lost. He supported Awara. He brought in Awara. When that Dakuku Peter side was there, the problem was there. Awara could not get it. The last election, he floated a Tonye Cole. Tonye Cole could not get it. He is bitter politically because for 2 or 3 times he has tried it, he has not been able to do that. He has an anointed candidate, either among those who have listed, not say Fubara. And ADC in Rivers State is the property of Chibike Rotimi Amechi. So if you are going there, you are going to be like a tenant, and they are going to be deciding and dictating to you what you have to do. So he might get in there and he will get more troubles.
Okay,
because in that particular Amechi will not even there.
So apparently, Barrister Adams, your position is that, look, ADC is not an option for Sim Fubara.
It's not an option. He can go to APP, like you rightly said, he was in APP.
Okay.
And they did a kangaroo local government election and they won it. He can go to APP, but not ADC, because there's no room for him in ADC.
Okay, all right. Now, Barrister Adams, you are in Rivers State, Port Harcourt, to be very precise. Can you tell us where you think, by your calculations, by your estimation, your assessment, where the pendulum will swing, by the end of 2027? Between Amechi, Sim Fubara and his men and Nyesom Wike. I know you have sympathy from Wike, no doubt, but try and be as dispassionate, as you can, at least on this show. Let us try and speak to, the realities on ground. What do you see on ground? I can hear you.
I will not sit on the fence. Yes, That is not business. Yes, so we is the one.
No, Barrister Adams. Barrister, on this show, you are not appearing as a politician. I know you were the spokesperson for Beatrice Tubo and Peter Obi campaign organization in Rivers State, but you appear on this program in your capacity as a political analyst. So that's why I said, can you try as much as you can to be very dispassionate? Where do you think that the pendulum will swing in 2027?
That is.
No, even if it is weaker, you give us the reasons why you think it's going to be weaker. Not because
you are sentimental and
emotional about it. Okay, go ahead, sir.
That is what I wanted to say. I wanted to give you reasons why I feel it's weaker.
Okay.
I wanted to give you reasons. Now, the reason I choose a Yeso Wike over an Amechi, I choose a Yeso Wike over Amechi and any other block. I don't know any other block. Let me give you, for instance. When Odili left power, Yeso Wike came in. It is on record, and it has not been denied by Chibuike Rotimi Amechi and his supporters, that when Rotimi Amechi had problems in PDP, it was Wike that rallied round, gave him the succor, gave him the moral support, gave him all the brotherly support he needed. Even when they went to Ghana, it was Wike that did everything, took Amechi to Ghana, came to Nigeria here, and started pursuing the court case. I still remember Amechi and Yeso Wike wearing the same PDP short-sleeve shirt in a picture they took after the victory at the Supreme Court. It was Yeso Wike that went around the judicature here in Nigeria and won that, and did one or two things and made sure that Amechi was now made the governor of Rivers State. That was why Amechi even made an interview. I literally said that he was to give to a position of a commissioner in his cabinet. But something else said no, because of the work this man had done, he will be the chief of staff. That was how I became the chief of staff to Rotimi Amechi. That is number one. When Amechi and Wike had a problem, Wike was able to surmount that problem and became a minister under Jonathan. And his political influence, was heavy on the government of Amechi in Rivers State. Which are contesting in 2015. The opposition and post of Amechi was able to Amechi was a popular politician. He was a support, so popular, he was ebullient, he was so dexterous, he was so sagacious. But a Wike came, who was former chief of staff and minister of education, came in and torpedoed the apple cart and now became governor. He became governor also, and he did two terms, defeating Amechi's candidate in the first election and defeating another Amechi candidate in the 2023 election that brought him, a Fubara, and installed a Fubara. So, and he's been there. We were thinking that a man like Yeso Wike by now would have been politically spent. But instead of him fizzling out, he has become an avatar. He has become is down and out. The midboy bed of Phoenix, has that characteristics, and that is what Yeso Wike possesses.
Okay.
So to begin to serve in APC government and not just serving there, serving in one of the best ministries.
Okay, all right. All right, Barrister Adams. Okay, Barrister Adams, I'm sorry we okay, so by your assessment now, Wike is the man, to bid in 2027. Well, it's very important we understand all of this. Well, 2027 is around the corner. We'll see how all of this pan out. Now, let's get into our second topic of discussion.
Yes.
President Bola Tinubu's third visit to Turkey focused on strengthening Nigeria's defense, security, and economic ties as the presidency dismissed health concerns following a brief stumble during a ceremonial welcome in Ankara. Well, officials explained that the president merely missed a step on a poorly laid carpet, suffered no injury, and continued his engagements as scheduled. Presidential aides and media advisors stressed that the visit is a strategic one, not routine, aimed at boosting bilateral cooperation in defense, manufacturing, security, trade, and investment. According to Special Advisor Daniel Bwala, key Nigerian ministers are holding sector-specific talks with their Turkish counterparts with expectations of tangible outcomes that will benefit Nigeria. A security expert and NSP chieftain, Abayomi Nurain Mumuni, described the visit as timely for enhancing counter-terrorism efforts and military cooperation. He noted that Turkey's experience in defense technology, intelligence sharing, and insurgency management could strengthen Nigeria's security capacity, improve training and technology, transfer and support long-term national stability. Barrister Adams, President Tinubu is in Turkey days after returning from Europe and UAE, looking for economic and defense collaboration. Turkey, why Turkey? One will ask. That is the question I'm asking you at this moment. Why Turkey?
You see, first of all, I just want to wish our president well, even though he stumbled or slipped or whatever they want to say. World leaders, I've seen world leaders slipped. And Awolowo once said that the fear is not in slipping, stumbling, or falling, but in rising up each time such occurs. So we are happy that he's back on his feet. I can never join the bandwagon or pantheon of those who begin to make jest of what happened to him. It could happen to any other person. Now, the reason is this. The president went to Turkey because of the fact that he is seeing Turkey as a very powerful ally with Nigeria. Many people don't know that Turkey, Nigeria, as far as 1962. You even had the trade something. And homes, most of them are Turkey.
Well, unfortunately, we are still battling with the network here. We have lost connection with Barrister Asim Adam. We were discussing the president's visit to Turkey, and he was okay. Yes, I think we have him back. Go ahead, Barrister Adams.
Yeah, it's a pivotal country.
Okay.
In terms of insecurity, Turkey suffered or is still suffering, insecurity like we have in the northern part of Turkey, where you have the Kurds and whatever, insurrections taking place. Many people don't know that Turkey also manufactures and produces arms. The Nigerian defense, industry, where they normally, craft or manufacture arms in Kaduna, which has run dry. Turkey was part of the people that came in there to set up that, arm manufacturing, company in Kaduna. They still do, cheap arms that Nigeria can tap into and, buy from. Now, before now, many people are not aware that the Turkish-Nigerian relationship is about 500 billion for a period of 10 years. Trade between Nigeria and Turkey, $1 billion, not Nigeria, not a naira as the case may be. So Turkey is a strategic country, for Nigeria to go to. And let me also let you know that Turkey is a member of NATO, Non-Atlantic Treaty Organization, because it falls between Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. So, and if you look at what goes on all over the world, Turkey does not belong to the extreme left or right. It's not for America, it's not for Russia. It's a power bloc on its own, a moderate, country that Nigeria can at least share affiliation with and even obnob with, because in terms of strength, it's not as big as America or Russia. It's in the middle category, which means Nigeria can have an ear to the ground, or the president of Turkey can have an ear to the ground whenever Nigeria wants to talk. So these are the things.
Okay, these are the things. So it's good that our president traveled to Turkey, as far as you're concerned, to strengthen defense and economic ties.
Yes.
Now, Barrister Adams, recall that recently, fiery cleric Sheikh Gumi had advised Tinubu to cut ties with the United States and turn to Turkey. Is that what we are seeing? And recall that while the president is in Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, the Turkish president, put up a tweet, on his X handle, and he described Nigeria as an Islamic country. What does that tell you about Nigeria-Turkey relationship? Is it something that should scare Nigerians that, look, we have a president that is describing our country as Islamic, even when we know that we are clearly a secular nation? Should that give Nigerians concern? That description, that characterization of Nigeria as an Islamic country, should it be concerning to Nigerians?
Well, for me, I believe that should be a thing that they have to correct. Even though the government of Nigeria has to correct that situation, that Nigeria is not an Islamic country, Nigeria is a secular state by our constitution. But by association, though Nigeria belongs to the Organization of Islamic Countries, they joined that particular OIC not of religious affiliation, but because of economic, affiliation and, goodies. Maybe. So differentiate. For me, Nigeria is not an Islamic country.
Okay, all right.
And it will not be.
All
right.
Two,
and if Sheikh Gumi is telling him, if he's telling Tinubu, to cut ties with America, I think in my own opinion, I don't want to use on charity. In fact, it's uncharitable for him to say so. If they do that, that would be committing a harakiri. Nobody can, do that America. Nigeria cannot do that American government right now.
Okay.
And they should discountenance Gumi's, talk on that.
Okay, but a lot of people are opining that probably the president listened to him and went to Turkey, to cut new deals, fresh deals for the Nigerian government. Barrister, before we leave this topic...
I do not think so.
Okay, before we leave this topic, should the president... Because a lot of people have also been asking, the president just came back from an unknown destination in UAE, in Europe, and before he landed in UAE, and after the Sustainability Summit, he came back, stayed just 9 days in Nigeria, and had to jet out again. And people are complaining, Nigerians like you and I are saying, look, the president's absence is worrisome. And I ask you, should the president's absence matter to Nigerians? Because even in his presence, bad things happen and he doesn't act decisively. I mean, look at insecurity, look at economic decline, look at the health, education, look at, workers, FCTA workers embarrassing the minister in public. And the first place I saw it was in Reuters, an international media organization. And a lot of people said, look, these acts are clearly embarrassing to Nigeria, like when the veterans, military veterans, had to block up the Federal Ministry of Finance in the president's presence in Nigeria, and he didn't do nothing but say, pay these people. So Nigerians are asking, should his absence matter to us? What's your reaction to that question?
First of all, we should stop all this propaganda against Nigeria. Yes, of course, the people were they were on strike, and we saw a commotion. What will now happen? What is happening in America, where ICE, that is that group which people now call the new terrorist group in America, is killing and shooting people in America. Is it not embarrassing to America? So when people begin to say because there was protests here and there in Abuja, then it's embarrassing to Nigeria as a nation, I just look at them and begin to laugh. It doesn't make any sense to us to begin to demarcate the country called Nigeria based on little things like that has happened. In France, we've seen what happened. We saw where somebody slapped Macron, the president of France. Was that not a disgrace to a nation? But people will not profile that. When we see little things, we need to demarcate Nigeria. That is of their own whatever. The other one is this. Tinubu must not begin to junkette. See, as the head of state of Nigeria, you need not to, it's not everywhere you go to. I've been wondering, I said, some of these meetings, is it not just to go and discuss and sign papers? Can't you send the vice president, Bianca Onu, who is your special assistant, and some other ministers to go and do these ones for you outside of the world, instead of traveling from one place to the other? Apart from the jet lag and fatigue that may be involved in all those things is the risk also of traveling here and there. So why can't the president just sit down and begin to, delegate some of these whatever travels to one or two persons for them to go there and sign those documents?
Thank you, Barrister Adam.
So the president is traveling too much.
Delegates. He's traveling too much. Thank you very much. Now, let's touch on the last topic of discussion. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has ordered the closure of the Onitsha main market for 1 week after traders defied the government's directive to ignore the Monday sit-at-home order. Well, the decision followed an on-the-spot visit to the market where Soludo, that was yesterday, warned that the shutdown could be extended to 1 month if traders failed to resume business, describing the defiance as economic sabotage driven by fear. While security agencies have sealed the market to enforce compliance as the state intensifies efforts to restore Monday economic activities. Well, the government has also introduced pro-rata salary payment for civil servants based on Monday attendance, underscoring its resolve to end sit-at-home disruption and stabilize economic life in Anambra State. Well, today or yesterday, we learned that there were protests around the market, and the state had to use soldiers to decide.
The governor has the rights and powers to maintain peace and order in the state, but I believe he went too far with the way he has operated. Instead of coercion, it should be persuasion. No man will want to close the shop on a Monday, but because of security concerns, that when I have a brother in Onitsha who is going to Onitsha on a Monday, I say, please don't go there because of this sit at home. It is not because they want to close the shop, but because of the concern for security. That is why you see these people closing their shops, as case may be. The government should not coerce them. It should persuade them, kind of, give them incentive and assure them that the things they fear about Mondays every time has been taken care of or will be taken care of, as the case may be, rather than, going there to close. Yes, I know that markets are under local governments and under the... But how I do my business and when I open my business is none of your business, because it's a private concern, it's a private affair. We are not civil servants. These are people who are even more wiser and more economically sound than you. Assuming you close and they now move to neighboring state like Delta State and go and the replica of the market in Asaba, are you not going to be the one that will lose? Why are you hounding them? Under our constitution, there is freedom of movement. I can decide to say I'm not going out today. No governor can force me to say I must move out. I can decide to say for the next 1 week, I'm not leaving my house. I'm not opening my office. Nobody should go there and begin to tell me I must open my office. So these are things the governor must have to do.
Okay.
So we must know that he's not an emperor. He's not an emperor. He's not a monarch. He's not a monarch. He's only a monarch that will send tank criers and say, don't come to market tomorrow. Or if you don't open your market tomorrow, you're going to get whatever. As maybe it's a governor. That come under the constitution. It should be made to know that.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much, Barrister Adams. Can we use 30 seconds to give you your concluding thoughts? We are out of time.
My concluding thought is that the Rivers case, those who are always behind looking for trouble, wherever there's no trouble, should just go and do some other businesses and leave Fubara and Wike'S alone. Let there be peace in Rivers State. That is just my own take, my final thought here.
All right, now this will be a good place to drop anchor on the show. We've been speaking with Barrister Asim Adam, constitutional lawyer and political affairs analyst. I must say a very big thank you to you, Barrister Adams. It's always intellectually engaging anytime I have you on this show. Thank you very much. I appreciate your presence. And I hope that we can do this some other time.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Mr. Okoro.
All right, then. On behalf of the backroom staff, I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is issues with Nnena and Ndimdu. So stay with us and don't go away. Bye for now. From me, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the morning show.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo.
When you say, make Nigeria no happen to you, me sef go say, make you no happen to Nigeria.
You dey bypass your light meter. You dey jump queue.
Yet, You dey wait make Naija change for you. My brother, my sister, you sef change.
Oh yeah, see that Naija pikin wey pack the thing wey block gutter wey dey cause flood.
Abba, Naija pikin, make we dey care for our environment.
Gen Z is no one work. Now quick cash them they find.
Just like that, boys don't turn Pablo. And girls?
Hablets.
Wetin dey happen?
We dey argue online, spread fake news with our full chest, divide ourselves on top religion, tribe, and politics matter.
But we go dey shout, no unity for Naija.
My brother, my sister, unity begins with you.
Someone japa, nobody wants stay.
But who go fix Naija if no be you?
Omo, you go stay o.
Naija dey wait for us same way we dey wait for Naija.
That na why National Orientation Agency don bring this better ogbonge plan wey go change the game. That na 7 for 7 agenda. 7 promises from leaders and 7 citizen codes.
Equality, democracy, entrepreneurship, employment, peace and security, inclusivity, justice, meritocracy. Now